to see myself. Oh, there. Hi. Okay, good morning, everybody. Where's the chat here? There. Good morning. Nice to see you. All right. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Linda. Nice to see you. Well, metaphorically. Jerry Brimacombe, Happy New Year. Wow, cool. Julia, hola. I know so many. I did a Spanish class earlier this year, translated with Adriana, and you are a metal ox, Jerry. Wow, it's going to be a big year for you. um, are asking if this, wishing that this was in English and so in Spanish. And so hopefully we can figure out, there is some technology out there apparently that this could be in Spanish. So we'll see if we can figure that out someday. Hi, Lena and Rosie. And so Lois has just posted up a link here in the chat that says, please have your charts ready so you can follow along. So get yours here. So, you know, I'm going to be talking, I mean, if you want to know about your astrology and whatnot, you need to know what the animals are in your chart and what your day master is. So I'll be talking about that. Hello, Louise. Hello, Carol. Please say hello, those of you that are on here. And if you want, drop in where you're watching me from. It's so great to be here with you and start off the new year and the Metal Ox year with you. And Teresa, hi. Nice. And Larry, hi. So good to be here with all of you. Yesterday, as I was preparing for the class, I was listening to these mantras and music, and my heart just got so full. I was just so grateful to be able to connect with people and to you know, do this work, and I'm really honored just to be here with you today. Hi, Rini. Hi, Krista from Fernie. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna get started here. You know, and so hello and welcome all of you to January 2022 Conscious Conversations. Oh, and I might sneeze this dry air here. It is always a pleasure to be here with you. Hi, Carrie. Yeah, lots of snow in Kelowna, Al, and greetings from Mexico. Beautiful. And so my purpose and intention, always with these. Oh, and just as a heads up too, Lois is posting a couple links. She'll post them at the beginning and later as well to the upcoming class and to the Moon group. Okay, and so I'm going to be talking about those for you as well so that you know what's coming up. And so my purpose and intention, let me just make this a little easier to read here. My purpose and intention here to be with you. Margaret, you're up early, I think, from Australia. That's great. I'm so excited to be with you that I get distracted. My purpose and intention with these monthly conscious conversations is to help you step into your power, to remember the truth of who you are, that you are a being of vibration and energy, and that we are all connected, and that we know, when we know how to work with energy and time, that we can be empowered. I want to help you understand your life purpose. I look at bigger, deeper existential questions about why is what going on in the world today. And I do these events because we are all connected. Hi, Melanie. Hello, Manjeet. Hello, Tony. Wow. Hello, Heather. So great to see all you guys. Lovely. I do these events because energetically, energy doesn't stop at my door. right? Like the moon affects me, the sun affects me, people affect me, everything affects me, and it affects you. And if we understand how energy works and we work with it consciously, we change the world for a better place. And when we make the world, when we vibrate at a higher vibration, we are one that has more connection and just automatically attract more abundance and relationships and all that. So what's going on? The theme for since 2020 has been rebirth, right? It started, I'm not going to get into all the technical stuff, but astrologically, there's a lot of technical things going on. But since 2020, and you know it, the world is changing, right? So since the end of 2020, we have been in a theme of rebirth. We're in the birth canal, and we're still going to be in this birth canal for another 2 years. And this is going to be one of the biggest months of those 2 years because we are in the metal ox month of the metal ox year. So there's a double whammy happening of what's going on. And I'm sure you can feel it. The fear out there with Omicron and the financial, what's going on and different things, it's big. So really to work and cope with that, we have a choice. Do we work with fear or do we work with love? Do we separate or do we join? Do we become curious and look at the world as a friendly place and work with the energies and empower ourselves? Because there is no such thing as a life that doesn't have ups and downs. There just isn't. There's no such thing, right? And so in order to work with 2022, we're in the birth canal, right? We are rewriting our story. You are beings that have reincarnated many, many times. And each lifetime is a different type of energy. The truth of who you are is a soul, but each lifetime we come in as a different personality. So these personalities respond to energy in different ways. And so for many of you, it happens in different ways. But the theme really right now, for the next month particularly, is what would you like your new story to be? Right? You actually have a chance because next year, what's happening in 2022, the portals are such that they're very powerful that you actually get to play the seeds that'll lead your life forward for the next 12 years. Okay, and I'm going to talk about that a lot more in depth on my January 22nd class, and the link is above if you don't have a ticket. And but the seeds that we do next year, each month of intention consciously, will set the path of what we're going to do. So part of that, what's going on is we need to let go of the fear. So I'm going to tell you a story, which I realized as I was writing yesterday, pertains a bit to the times right now and to what my story, because this event changed my story. And I'm sure all of you, everybody, we've all throughout our lives had metaphysical experiences that have changed our life. People say something, could even be an accident, a divorce, or different things, right? Well, for me, I was going through a divorce. This is back in the mid 90s. I was going through a divorce, and I had for a long time been blaming him. But my therapist suggested that I do a regression to look at my own issues, and that we actually adopted, and that we do a regression back to my birth. Okay, that we do regression back to my birth. And so I went into hypnosis. I'm going to make this as short as possible. But in that experience, as I went into the hypnosis, it was almost instant. I could feel my body in the birth canal. My shoulders got really tight. I could feel my head being squeezed. And it was dark and it was painful. But my consciousness was almost like there was a thread to this consciousness on the other side where there was joy and light. And we were all one. It was so clear that the truth of who I am was not this body that I was entering, but that this was a process, right? That I was going to go through. And as I entered my body and I felt myself getting so heavy and dense and pain, I actually it was sort of all in this instant. The next 30, 40 years appeared before me. But I saw even from childhood on that this was just all something I chose, that this was a lesson, if you will, karma, but karma wasn't a punishment. And the lesson was, could I come through it and still have my heart open? Could I come through it and learn to work with energy? And so let me just see, I have some notes because I get distracted. I saw that time was energy. I saw that the world was energy, and I saw that this was all a choice, right? And I saw that my purpose, by learning to work through that I chose these things and to see them differently and to learn to work with energy, that that was my path, right? And so I actually saw that I would, in a way, start studying. I had already been studying metaphysics and spirituality and psychology for years, but now I was like, a fire was lit in me, and I just wanted to understand what I had left, right? And I also knew that within me was joy. And I wanted to understand, without doing drugs or without doing alcohol or without doing all those things excessively, how could I reattach to it? And I saw that meditation in different ways were part of that process, right? I saw that we were beings of light, and I saw that there were many beings of light with me. And I feel that you who are here on these calls and in my classes are also beings of light, and that we're all working to remember the truth of who we are. So that experience happened for me nearly 30 years ago. But since then, my path of personal growth has been every month to study something that makes me learn more. And my path is to share that with you. All right. And now, the times that we are in right now, we are at the end of age 8 and entering into age 9, that this is a peak time where many people are having huge wake-up calls, if you will. I don't know what else to call them. And we can see them in the chart. Collectively, it's happening, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. But individually, health issues, I mean, myself included, with family issues and health issues and different things. But the difference is with consciousness, we can look at them differently, and we can get out of the past or the future and be in the present moment and access that universal energy. We can learn to work with the matrix. You know, by understanding your astrology and by using Feng Shui, we can work with energy to align ourselves to the portals of most ease. And we can also, you know, by using Feng Shui, we can intentionally choose to create things. But part of that whole process, even what's happening all right now, is to also remember that we are all connected. And it's not just about creating and making stuff happen. It is also about turning inwards and finding the present moment. Okay. So I knew also by my consciousness in that moment of what happened that I had, oh, that was what I wanted to say. So neural pathways. When we're born into the world, Eckhart Tolle calls them pain bodies, but there's lots of ways to call them. But there's lots of thought patterns out there that are negative, right? People are negative, energy, you know, and some of it's not negative. Winter, it's dark and cold. It's not necessarily negative, but it has a vibration that's slower. So when we learn to work with these energies and learn to be in process with them, we actually learn to be in flow and not take personally what's happening. And we can learn to make new neural pathways in our brain. And this is raising our vibration. So it's a whole pattern thing. It's like by doing all these things, we can become higher, happier people. And so this is what I'm going to be sharing with you all year with Conscious Conversations every month for free on Facebook. And once a month, I'll be doing the full moon meditations, which is another process to just look withinward and help release and do that. And then, of course, there's the classes where you can learn about Feng Shui and things that, you know, in a deeper level. So the earth works in a pattern, or who we work is what's called the heaven, earth, and man trinity. And that's an important thing to remember because hello, Aman and Nicole, and just welcome everybody. I'm so pleased to be here with you, and thanks for saying hello. 33% of our destiny is the matrix of heaven and earth and the stars and what's happening, and the soul, the personality blueprint that you chose to be born with in this lifetime. We can't change that matrix, but we can work with it. 33% of our destiny is how that matrix interacts with Feng Shui, earth, and our home, right? Because we respond to noise and mountains and water all in different ways, and we can use that consciously. And 33% of your destiny is your actions and your thoughts. And that is where meditation comes in, and action and different things. And so by embodying those three things, you can change your life. You don't have to settle for, you don't have to settle. So what do you want to be? That's the theme for 2022 moving forward. It's like rebirth, right? And so a very important part, I talk about this every month, but it's like, what do you want in your relationships? What do you want in your health? 2022 is going to be a hard year to take action. There's no metal in the chart. I'm going to go in depth with this on the January 22nd, but there's no metal in the chart. So for a lot of people, well, for all of us, metal is in a way like action and execution. It's many, many things, but that's one of the things. So people are going to be a little bit stuck not doing actions. And so the time this month still has a lot of metal. So this is the time to set an intention, to set a goal, and to move maybe accountability partners, you know, those types of things. Since that event that happened to me nearly 30 years ago, I've led a deeply spiritual life. I'm not religious, but I am spiritual, which means for me, spiritual is personal growth. I'm committed to personal growth. I am committed to raising my vibration, if you will. I just know that that's what brings me peace, right? I can manifest money and I can manifest things. And yes, that makes life more comfortable, but it is a combination of both doing inner work and looking at why I chose this lifetime and why I chose these patterns and releasing them, if you will, in combination with the Feng Shui. I like a glass of wine. I love coffee. You know, I don't exercise enough. I am definitely very human, but I work with it. I take responsibility for it. Yeah, I'm glad you feel optimistic, Jan. That's really the best way to be. So we study astrology because everything is energy. So and we respond to energy, right? And so January is metal ox month and the metal ox year. The metal element is very strong. The emotion for metal in Chinese metaphysics is melancholy and some say grief. It rules the lungs and the large intestine and skin and breathing organs. The water is also very strong. The ox is part of the winter season. And so fear is the dominant emotion that comes with water. Kidneys and ears, things like that are ruled by water. So is there any surprise? Like as astrologers, we knew December and January were going to be brutal months energetically for the world collectively. So to see the rise of Omicron, I'm not surprised at all. I am grateful that it's not as serious as it could be, you know? Like, and really, fear is not a response that helps. Curiosity is a response that helps, right? How do we work with this? We have to look at the bigger picture. We have to look at it, to ask existential questions, because it's not like, oh, poor me, there's lots of metal and water happening. What do I do, right? The good news is wood is coming, which is the element of medicine. This is coming in the tiger year. Fire is coming. The fire is not great though in 2022. Fire, those are both healing energies and more optimistic. We're really 2 to 3 years out before we get into a real relief from all of this. But that doesn't, but so what's the way out? The way is through, right? It will require continued consciousness. And that's why this is happening, because it's asking us to wake up to the truth of who we are. It's not like to stop being so distracted with all the stuff, to start looking at what's valuable, people and connection, right? Metal and water governs colds and flus. So no wonder there's more of that happening, right? There's just this whole month up until February 4th, 1st through 4th, and even into next year, the whole year, Omicron or COVID is not going to go away, but it will become manageable in 2022. Okay, what's actually being asked of us, right? Age 9 is coming in 2024. Age 9 is fire. Fire is transformation. Unfortunately, transformation is always painful. Change comes from suffering. There is To become the enlightened soul that we all are requires going through these steps. So if we can relax into the present moment, relax might not be the right way, but stop resisting what's going on and be in the present moment, the whole world changes. We are okay, right? So change comes from suffering. It's up to you. How long do you resist? It is definitely possible to have a great year next year, but it requires awareness. If you know that it's going to rain, and I tell you it's going to rain, and you're not going to buy rain gear, it's your fault that you get wet. So if I tell you that next year there's some financial instability happening in the world, or that you find out that in your personal chart there's some major my chart next year has major classes happening, I'm not afraid, because I see it as bringing me to the next level, right? What does being afraid do anyways, right? So I love when I teach, because I'm trying to teach you why, not just how. It's not like, oh, just put water in this sector or just do this. Yes, you're going to get those activations. I have 2 for today that I'll give you. But there's more, right? It's about learning to work with the energies. So yes, for the rest of this month, we will continue to see the spread of Omicron, and economically, it's going to be a couple of years before we see the economy really start to recover in all the sectors. Bitcoin and the financial situations and things like that will have huge fluctuations this year. This month, it should be particularly good, but moving forward, there's changes happening. I'll talk about that again, as I said, in depth on the 22nd. The energy of 2022 also, just to know, has similarities to 2008, because the chart that we use to look at the year, the day pillar is Earth Rat, and Earth Rat is the same as the year of 2008. So it's like, okay, everybody sees kind of the writing on the wall. And I'm sure if you feel inside yourself, you can feel it, that there's these changes happening. Have you changed your life? Did you change in 2008? The thing too, with 2022, the water tiger is a spiritual year. The type of energy that the chart is a deeply spiritual year. And what that means is there's portals opening that allow you higher access to change and transformation than ever before in our lifetimes. The specific energy of this year will not happen again for another 180 years. So if you are prepared to do the work, and if you are prepared to make changes, 2022 can be an amazing year of transformation that propels you forth so that the rest of your life is at a higher level. Now, this could be the second you start vibrating at a higher level, you will attract more money. I don't know if I can say better health exactly, because sometimes as a bot, but peace within whatever that is, right? And the help you need to mitigate that. Hi, Luna and Jacqueline, lovely to be here with you. Okay, so let's show up, my friends, for 2022 in a big way. Right? Are you ready? So, have you felt that the last few years' time is speeding up? It is. How many of you are living the equivalency of many lifetimes in one lifetime? Different careers, different partners, different homes in the world, right? So many things. Hey, Graham. So now you get to write a new story, right? What would you like your story to be? And in order to create a story, this is like quantum physics, you have to let go of what's not serving you, or there's no room for the new story to come in. And this is an inner and an outer thing. And definitely the theme for January as well is simplicity. And I'll talk about that in a sec. But it's internal simplicity and external simplicity. Clutter clearing in the house, because we always get ready for Chinese New Year's, but it's like internally, who do you need to forgive? What habits do you need to let go of? Like all those things. Hello, Lydia. So the theme of January is simplicity. It's the last month of the year. It's time to get ready for 2022, make room for new energy to come in. And I believe it's wise the whole month, Metal-Ox year and Metal-Ox month, we all need to it's not the time to get reckless with our health, because it's double whammy of what's going on. So to continue washing your hands, wear masks and all those types of things. However, an important theme as well, see what's coming with period 9 is polarity, as a choice or not. right? It's fire. There's two yang lines with a yin line in between separating. And we see the polarity, the vaxxers against the anti-vaxxers, the Democrats against the Republicans, you know, we're judging all the time. That is not the right answer. The answer to creating a better world is connecting. You can't ask Feng Shui and the universe to bring you good luck, and then you decide, oh, well, I'm not going to be nice to that person, because then you're shutting yourself off. You're closing your chakras. So how do you learn to be open and yet smart? That's a big trick when you're wearing a mask and you can't see each other's faces, right? So the theme, along with simplicity for January, but for 2021, has been forgiveness. So the ox as well is a graveyard animal. And we call them graveyards because there's all these elements buried inside the ox. So now we have two oxes. And so what happens in a month like this is what needs to be revealed is revealed. What needs to be brought to the light. And for those of us that are doing consciousness work, the lessons are not quite as severe as those who aren't, because really, I think your higher self might give you a car accident to go, look, like stop, pay attention. Everything is actually happening for you, not to you. So in this month, be prepared. Some things might come up that you need to look at, because that's actually what this is about, right? So 5 elements are really what all of Chinese metaphysics is based on. And so for each of you, what the 5 elements reveals, I mean, yes, there's a general meaning. Metal is melancholy, but to some of you, metal might be wealth. Some of you, it might be connection. Some of you, it might be resource. So if we're actually wondering, it's possible in a reading, if that should, something you want to do, to actually see what does the energies mean to you, particularly as to what's coming up. So the theme for 2021 is forgiveness. The past is revealed to the light, and we release it by forgiving it, or just even bringing it out. Because what's buried inside of us, what we're not talking about, can't transform, right? But we have to learn to communicate with love. Really, isn't that a world that we want to live in? Yeah, I agree, Karen. And so the hexagram for January is dimming light, meaning that it is important to find your internal light, to have faith, purpose, goals, and focus. People cannot see clearly. If your purpose and goal is clear, you will be fine. If not, you will be tested. My word for you is surrender, but surrender with curiosity. And take a deep breath and enjoy all the moments. What other choice do you have, right? If you come from blame or anxiety, that's very hard to do. So, and again, that's why I started the full moon meditations, which are free. You have to sign up for them though, they're on Zoom, because to help us learn to see what's inside of us that needs to come up. And along with a guided meditation, I spend the first 45 minutes or so talking about what's going on and some tips of some kind. Hi, Larissa. And then I do a guided meditation, a brief one. And now Yuko is going to do a sound meditation as well, to allow the sound to come in and see what comes up as well. My word for you is surrender. See if you can stop the talking in your head and find your higher self. Faith, purpose, goals. That's the key to getting through this month. Can you stop the chatter and just get into the breath of your body and into the present moment? Really examine your life. Are you in a direction that is meaningful to you? And let go of what's not serving you. Now, simplicity. Light is the organizing principle of the universe. We are in the darkest month of the year, or the darkest 2 months of the year. We need to make room for light to come into our lives. And we do this by letting go of stuff and simplifying. So clutter clearing and emotional clearing and all that stuff is a really important practice for this month. And that's why I love Chinese New Year's, because now you've got till February 1st to clean out your house, to get rid of what's not working, because quantum physics, no two things can occupy the same space. And you might not be there mentally yet to feel happy, but when you start, and here's the trick too, when you start clearing your house, don't be surprised if you feel worse. Because our egos don't like letting go of stuff, right? They don't. It's a process, right? And so that's also just just breathe and let it happen, right? I'm going to talk about Chinese New Year's tips and clutter clearing, specifically in the moon meditation. Okay, so I think that's on the 17th of January. So faith, purpose, and goals are the focus to getting through this month. How do we get in front of suffering? By getting in front of it, right? And simplify more. Cleaning your house, getting rid of your stuff, eating simply, getting rid of stuff on your computer, getting rid of what's not of a lighter energy, hanging out with people that don't complain, simplify. So remember, it is your decisions, not your conditions, that create your destiny. Okay, so I hope you all have a copy of your chart in front of you. I'm going to talk about a little bit of this month. Thanks, Lois. There's the link to signing up for the full moon circle. So we all have what's called a day master. So I know that some of you here today, I don't know who you are, and welcome. And I know that hundreds of you watch this later. So make sure you have a copy of your chart. And clear the toxic people for sure. And the top 5 people you hang out with reflect your life. Did you know that? When I learned that 15 years ago, I was like, wow, I realized that I hung out with a lot of complainers. And that was making me a complainer. And it was like, okay, how do I change that? What are my values? And my values are kindness, hard work, integrity, right? And so it's like, okay, where can I find that? Consciousness work, like those are all values I have. So anyways, your day master for this month, there are 5 of them. So you can be wood, fire, earth, metal, or water, and it is the top part of the day. So your day pillar on the chart says wood monkey or fire rooster or water goat, I don't know, something like that. So find out what your day master is. It's the top part, okay? If you are a wood day master, the possibilities for you this month, the energy vibrations that are out there for you to tap into are potentially status, reputation, responsibilities, and confrontations, okay? Either self-discipline is going on for you or breaking the rules. But if you break the rules, you might get caught. And, so you have to really manage your emotions this month. It's a great month to get stuff done, but you have to choose. Are you going to be law-abiding or argumentative? And I actually think for all of us this month, the energies of metal ox and metal ox shear, melancholy and fear, that there's a real chance we're all going to be whining, right? Whining and complaining. That's not going to help the world. Be the change. Learn to process inside. Learn to breathe. Walk in nature, right? So wood day masters, if you are able to have self-discipline, and it's a great month actually to start a diet or to do those types of things, to bring in structure. That's the way to use this month, because there's another possibility, otherwise you're rebellious, okay? Female wood day masters might meet, if you're looking for a new partner, this is a month, get on the dating apps and see what you can do. That's possible. Those of you who work in office or work environments, you will be seen. How that works out for you is up to you. Fire day masters, there's lots of wealth opportunities for you out there. So that means if you're in sales, go out there and network. If you're looking for a job, go look for a job. But wealth in Feng Shui or in Chinese astrology also means work. So you're working this month, all right? And so sometimes too much work can also make you tired. So make sure that you manage your energies quite well. This is not a month, though, to take it easy, because this is the month to secure your income if you can, or to secure some different type of wealth opportunities out you. Next year, the wealth is different. Your luck changes. It's not that it's bad, but how you make money is changing. So for Fire Day Masters, this is a good month to lock away a contract or to secure a sale or to get some clients, because next year for sure your strategies are going to change. Earth Day Masters. This is a month for you where communication is important, strategic planning, creativity, and even, so I'm also, for those of you that are practitioners, because I know many of you on here have studied with me or do things on your own, the the forecasts here, if you will, are a combination of the stars of the month and the elements. And also, I just want to say, this is very general. You are more than just the day, and you are more than just the year. There's 4 animals in your chart, and the whole thing is quite a map, but this is just a fun way to look at a general guide as to how to help you work with the month. Earth Day Masters. It's not a month, there's wealth opportunities for you, but there's also what we call wealth. Water is going into the grave this month. And that's, Chinese have very dramatic terms. It doesn't mean anybody's dying or that your water is dying, but it means that there could be some changes in how you make money. You might let go of some clients. You might, there'll be some changes in how you do work. But there's also new opportunities out there for you as well, especially next year coming. But this month is the month to really decide what wealth opportunities or wealth work things do you do that aren't serving you, that you want to change so that you can get ready for next year. Don't be stubborn and too much of a perfectionist, because that will hold you back. You have really good ideas that can lead to opportunities. And in general, don't rock the boat, but that doesn't mean don't make changes. It just means do it in a diplomatic way. Metal. If you are born in spring months, say if you're born between February to July, I think this month means your friends will help you. Your friends will help you. And this is also very general. But if you're born in the months of August, September, October, it's best to spend more time alone. All right. Just because the reason I'm saying that is like, do you need metal or do you not need metal? If you need metal, there's people to help you. There's lots of metal this month. But if you don't need metal, better to spend some time reflecting and be the help that other people need, right? It's an emotional month regardless. Metal and water for everybody is emotional, which we're all going through. But for Metal Day Masters particularly, you'll just be feeling the melancholy. And in a way, for many of you, that's your friend. But so not to be afraid of it, to just look at it and to, each emotion, each of the elements has an emotion, has a positive and negative to it, right? We so value fire and happiness as if that's what we should all be. But the world could not just always be happy. We have to have a mixture of all the elements. And I'm working with this wonderful acupuncturist right now, and he just said, I love melancholy. He's just so able to move through that energy and connect deeply, right? And so, yeah, metal, it's a good month to be supportive to others, but don't expect anything in return. Water, Day Masters. There's support for you this month. Now, what does support mean? Well, support can mean everybody does stuff for you and you're lazy, but it can also mean that it's a good month to set up systems that moving forward will support you and to actually use this energy to improve your home life, to improve moving forward what you're going to be doing, those types of things. You might have trouble focusing but this is not new. This has been happening for you already the last couple of years because there's just been so much water. But so it's good to have written plans, write them down, stay focused, set deadlines, be accountable, don't overcommit because it's easy to have stuff go not like you think, and get an accountability partner and you will be fine. All right, let's talk about the 12 animals briefly, and then I'm going to do a little bit of Feng Shui, give you 2 activations, and then we'll be done. Okay, so the tiger animal, and let's just focus, those of you practitioners, if you know how to read the whole chart, great, but I'm focusing here primarily if this is your year animal. A little bit, there's opportunities coming to you, but you're not quite sure what they are. For the tiger, there's opportunities coming for you, but they're not clear, right? So I would say stay open. If you're afraid of losing control, you're going to struggle with these, but it's like explore, do your due diligence, right? More or less this month you have smooth luck and things are going well for you. There's a star that shows that I would say be careful with your health. If you have any health issues, for sure, just get them looked at. I think you'll be fine overall. But even tigers, for you moving forward, next year's the year of the tiger. And so we've got 1 month left. The spotlight is going to be on you. And what that actually means is, are you ready? Because it's uh, the spotlight is on you. What do you want to be seen for? So you have to be ready for being seen, because you will be seen. But that means step up. Are you going to be seen for being a complainer and lazy? Or are you going to be seen for someone who takes action, who's a role model? You know, tigers in a way are supposed to be warriors, right? Like it's like they're fierce animals. They're loving and protective, but it's like it's a good month to really sort of think, and for all of us really, but tigers particularly, what do you want to be seen for next year, and get ready. So I think managing your resources means managing your health, managing your time, managing your friends. Don't overdo it. Focus on what's important. Rabbit. January promises to be a good month for you. You will find it easy to venture into new opportunities. Focus on what matters most, because you will be distracted. Pay attention also to your health, but in general, it'll be fine. It means just don't work too hard, right? Really. Improve your meditation skills. There's some really good stars there that'll help you with that. In general, you'll be in a good mood, and there will be celebrations. Dragon. Now, the dragon has already had a bit of a challenging year. The dragon is going through a transformation. This already happened. It's been going on all year, and it's going to continue into next year. So there's a renew, reboot, and reframe theme going on for the dragon. 2022 is going to bring, I don't know if instability is the right word, and I really love this part that I learned about astrology. Remember I said only 33% is time and 33% is you and your actions? When you don't have luck from time or feng shui, which you could make, right? But then you can make your own luck through your actions. Well, this month and heading into next year, dragons need to make their own luck. Now, a little bit that means you have to be nice. My one teacher would say, be pleasing, right? And I like that, be pleasing. Because to be pleasing means people want to be around you. Remember, the top 5 people you hang around with reflect your life, but you also reflect other people's lives. So if you're someone that people want to be around, but I'm not saying at the expense of not being who you are. Don't be so people pleasing that you're fake. That never ever works. You have to be true to your core of who you are. But 2022, this month and into 22, you will not get away with being moody or petulant or those types of things. Your attitude is key. You will be busy. Set aside time for loved ones, but set aside time to love yourself so that you are resourced. Okay? Self-care. Snake. Snake and ox are friends. So opportunities will come your way. Double opportunities, right? Are you ready? Right? And expect to be on the go. Expect to be on the go next year too. Snake, and there's some complicated things happening next year for you, Snake, but there's a travel sign there. Expect to be on the go, expect movement, opportunities are coming, you will meet new people, there's wealth opportunities for you, and relationships overall this month are good. So take advantage of them, because as you should know from the last couple of years, they don't always come your way. Right? So there again, actually, remember what I said at the very beginning is that next year is a portal that opens up the seeds for the next 12 years. All of you, where do you see yourself in 12 years? So that your actions steer the boat, okay, in that direction. Okay, the horse, you're going to feel undervalued this month. So are you going to be a jerk about that and project that onto people and say, oh, you're a jerk to people? Or are you going to actually maybe look at that as information? Is there something about yourself you need to change? There's going to be challenges, but challenges sometimes are wake-up calls. So don't make them worse, because the horse sometimes, it's fire, can be two things. Well, we all have coping mechanisms. So one could be you just say things you don't want to say or mean, but the other one is you just isolate and leave, do cut and run, right? People will annoy you in January. Be patient. Make a conscious effort, though, to hang out with people who do support you and to in a kind way, I guess, avoid those who bring you down. Don't get dragged into other people's problems, because that definitely could happen for you, that you just get caught up in somebody else's issue that has nothing to do with you. Strategize, don't be naive. You are going to feel a bit this month that you're not good enough. Goat. The goat has had a challenging year all year because the goat and the ox are a clash. And now there's a double clash. But what does a clash mean? Have you been listening all year and made the changes in your life where you needed to make changes? For some of you, that might have meant new job. It might have meant new home, new relationships. I don't know. But this month there's a double clash. So you can get ahead of that by making the changes yourself, right? Like what needs to change. So if you are afraid of change, you're stuck. And some of you goats, when you're feeling stuck, become a bit of a bully. And then people bully you, like you're feeling pressure to do things you don't want to do. So it's really important to, who are you? What do you want? Tread carefully and you will be fine. Mind your own business. No one wants advice that's not asked for, particularly this month. It is possible to make mistakes, so just think twice before you speak. Monkey. The monkey actually this month is pretty lucky. The stars are good. Adventurous monkeys actually might even have some fun activities with their friends, outside activities particularly, and in general, it's a happy month. It's quite smooth. So just like, because enjoy the smoothness, because next year you are the animal that clashes with the tiger. So for all of us, me included, I have monkey in my chart as well, not in the year, but, and I'll talk about that more on the 22nd class. But next year brings change. And there's 3 tigers in next year's chart. So monkeys, anybody who has monkey in their chart will experience significant change in their lives, which is great if you're ready, right? But you have to be able to kind of, jump over puddles, so to speak. And so really important, while this month is a good month, maybe to set up an environment of people who support you and activities that are in a regular routine that support you, so that next year you're supported as well as possible to have a good year. The rooster and the ox are also friends, and so opportunities will come your way. However, roosters they're kind of mixed animals. They like people and they like spending time alone. So this month, even though there's events and celebrations that you're invited to partake in, you probably will prefer to stay at home. And that's fine. You will enjoy, regardless of what you do, a happy and fulfilling month. Okay, the dog. Bully punishment. Okay, so it's, again, dramatic words, eh? But again, there's good fortune for you this month, but lots of actually opportunities for you. Hi, Marissa. That's the way to be, is thankful. With a bully punishment, what happens is there's things going to be happening this month that you feel pressure that you have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do, right? So people, or peer pressure, or different types of things. So really, this is, if you know who you are and what you'll do and not do, you use your power to turn things around, but in a kind way. And here's one of the other biggest lessons I've learned. Nobody can bully you. Bully just means make you do things you don't want to do, right? That only happens when you're also being a bully. So where are you judging other people? This could be just in your mind, that they should be doing something that they're not, that you're applying pressure to other people or to yourself. Do you bully yourself? So whenever anything comes up in our lives, it's an opportunity to look at it and go, because it's a reflection, right? All energy ends up being a reflection. So it's like, oh, okay. Because when we're pointing a finger that way, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. So it's like, okay, why is that happening? Why did I create this? You are lucky this month, so you can solve problems this month. I don't know if you'll win the lottery, but you actually might have some gaming luck. There's opportunities to make money in different things. And so, yeah, go look for it. But be the value, the golden rule, do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. I think that's a theme for you this month. Okay, 3 left. Pig. The pig, is part of the winter season along with the ox. And so the pig as well has some good stars that indicate wealth opportunities. Salespeople might benefit from this energy. They'll be popular. Business people will see good responses to their promotions and sales. Okay, great. Rat. The rat can look forward to better career prospects this month. There's a double combination to ox month and ox year. And people will want to be with you. So this can also be distracting because the rat is one of those animals that loves a party. It's very general, right? I know. But they love a party. They, in general, love people, love being around. So you might be planning for a holiday overseas or those types of things. People will want to be around you. I advise you, if you have a 12-year plan, right, looking forward to the next 12 years, what's the best way to use that popularity? Because sometimes going to the bar, not that many of us are doing that with Omicron and that, but going out or hanging out with friends isn't getting you ahead, right? When you look back on your life, what do you want to see? Who are you, right? So this is the month to consciously, if this is a month where you're likable, more likable, because you've actually been likable all year by the stars, to use that to attract the people into your life that you want to attract. Okay, that will be beneficial. Okay, ox, last but not least, right? The ox, you've been the star of the year and now you're star of the month. And a lot of people so often think, oh, wow, it's my year, it's been great. Not necessarily. It means the spotlight has been on you. And that can usually means pressure. If you're able to stand the pressure and to be seen and to actually consciously choose what you want to be seen for, you will do well, right? But again, do you want to be seen as a complainer? Because everything that you do is visible for others to see. So it can backfire because if you gossip, people will see it. But if you take good care of yourself, people will see it, right? Your immune system is a little bit weak this month, so make sure you get enough sleep and eat properly. You know, years ago, I worked with a business coach and I asked him, do you work with law of attraction? And he said, no, I work with energy levels. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, because if you're tired, law of attraction doesn't work. And I thought, wow, that's so true, right? But this is true for all of us. We can have a month that's a really good month, but if our energy levels are low, it doesn't matter, right? If we don't do anything with it, it doesn't matter. All right, so the Feng Shui, right? So in Feng Shui, you guys know who follow me, I don't do a lot of stuff with this because it's like, to just say, oh, this sector is good or that sector is good is to me too general. You really need a floor plan and a blueprint, and we're going to be doing that in the 22nd class, right? And more, or a consultation. And I'm not trying to sell consultations. I just want to be honest with you that I can tell you what sectors are good, and those of you that are consultants can work with that. So the primary method that I'm using here is flying stars. And also I want to say for you that are consultants, you have, if you know how to take into account your gua in relationship with the stars, please do that as well. Because I can say, for instance, that the East has really good energy this month. So if you can face the East or work in the East or those types of things, because the stars that are there are 1 and 4, but that will connect with certain people more than others. Okay. In general, the best energies of this month are, I would say, the East, and for financial success and academic pursuits, the South for romance and good communication. You can use this by opening windows in those sectors. You could sit in those sectors. You could face that direction. I mean, if you have a choice. For spiritual pursuits, the Northwest is really good this month, right? And financial success and partnership and marriage energy is good in the North. So if you can use the different sectors, great. The sector to be careful of and spend less time in, if you have a choice, is in the Southeast. Now, would some practitioners say add metal to the Southeast? Yes. Yeah, you could add some metal there. Really, the best use of energy is if you have different doors in the house that you can use and different windows and actually being in those locations. And I'm going to give you two activations to do. When we activate certain sectors, that can also activate the energy. It's like acupuncture, if you will, right? So it's January. I'm going to give you two activations in a second. One is a meditation one, and one is an actual water activation. And it's January, and February 1st is Chinese New Year's. I'm going to talk, so start clutter clearing. So start clutter clearing the different sectors of your house to bring in new energy. So even if you don't know much about Feng Shui, the important areas to work on, unless it's in the southeast, right? Like avoid doing clutter clearing too much in the southeast this month, but all the other sectors are okay, really, I would say, to do that in. So you might have to wait though till next month to do the southeast. Is ask yourself as you look at stuff, is this part of my future, right? Do a good clean, right? So, because cleaning, right? We're getting rid of the old and we're bringing in the new. Pay off bills, make amends, do as much of all those things this month as you can, because we're trying to let go of what is blocking us from bringing in new energy so that we are simplified and ready for 2022, the year of the metal water tiger, as possible. Okay, 2 meditations. January 11th. Between 7 and 9 a.m., this is a meditation for forgiveness, if you will, to make peace with yourself and to let go. Now, part of this is an excellent meditation to do this month, and you can just sit quietly in this corner. The section to sit in is, if you know how to do this, is in the Northeast. For those of you who know how to do Northeast 3, which is the sector of the tiger, sit in Northeast 3, right? And you can face southwest. So sit in the Northeast and face southwest. Meditate or pray. Light a candle. What needs to be forgiven and pardoned, right? So this is just an actual, so there's certain portals that happen in astrology that show up that facilitate letting go. And some of them they facilitate all kinds of different things. But this is just, January is a really good month to do letting go. So this is a meditation for closure and pardon. Northeast, in the Northeast 3, if you know how to do that, the tiger sector, and face southwest and meditate and make peace with yourself. 10 minutes might be enough. If you can do more, great. If not, doesn't matter. Already, its intention is huge here, okay? And then there's another one for February 1st, an activation for wealth and noblemen. February, this is a water activation, okay? And this is in the south 2. Now, if you have a compass and you can stand in the middle of your house and point, now if you set your iPhones on, so on January, because these are free, I'm not using slides or any of those types of things, but on January 22nd, there will actually be slides that show you how to put a floor plan on and find all these, okay? But let me tell you here, just verbally, stand in the center of your house with your iPhone. Make sure your iPhone's compass is set to magnetic and find 180 degrees and in that sector. On February 1st at 7:30 in the morning, you'd like a bucket of water with a pump in it and enough water. The bigger the water, the better the pump, the more this will be, but any is good, okay? Like really, but this is in the section of the horse. Those of you that know Zhuangkong Dagua, there's a combo 10 happening that day. So it's just a really good wealth activation, but combos also mean help from noblemen. What are noblemen? People that can help change your life. There's very auspicious stars that day. The water only needs to be there for 2 hours, up to 24. This is not a long-term thing. Can it be anywhere? Yes, it can be anywhere. I mean, if it's your bathroom, it's your bathroom. But you need to find the outermost wall of the south in your home, if possible, to put this pump in, okay? And so there's 2 activations for you. That brings me to the end of today's talk. And so I want to leave you. Remember, this is the year coming up, rebirth. We are in the birth canal. We're in the birth canal. We are moving forward into a new era. Age 9 is one of transformation. What do you want to transform to? And you can't resist. Really, the key word I said is surrender, right? Right? And so it's like, but to look at this with curiosity, I love the word curiosity because sometimes stuff happens to me. Because if you, the story that I told at the beginning of this, when I saw myself, my soul coming into my body, and I saw that life was these lessons, and I saw that I chose all this, and that the body was heavy, but that I could work with it to change it, that I could choose to change my thoughts. That's where we're at right now, is you get to choose to change your thoughts. We get to do the work, right? And so one of the main thoughts that will help you is the world is a friendly place. So if you can look at all that happens to you as if it's happening for you, not to you, and react with curiosity, that opens up your chakras. It opens up your being to allow magic to come in. Yesterday, as I was working on writing this and I was listening to mantras, and I could just feel my heart bursting, within an hour, I had 3 random phone calls, if you will, with people booking big consultations. That was not a coincidence. It became because I was just so full of love for just being here, right? And I'm so full of love for all of you who show up and do metaphysics in whatever capacity, whether you actually study with me in depth or, whatever it is, like that we just show up in each other's lives. We've been in each other's lives many, many lifetimes, working, to raise our vibrations. So I leave you with Happy New Year. And light a candle, do something to make someone else's life and your own life better. Amy, hello. Thank you to all of you. It is truly my pleasure to be here with all of you. May 2022, the month of the metal ox, the year of the water tiger coming, bless us all. And may we unite in consciousness to support one another. Go smile at your neighbors. Go be just little things, right, to make the world a better place.